Hey everyone, welcome back. You guys, I'm so grateful to be back. I'm so thankful for you guys. You left me so many wonderful comments on my last video. I feel so welcomed. I feel so welcome back. I'm so glad that you guys are still there because I intentionally but not intentionally left for a good chunk of time. And I was just kind of scrolling down memory lane last night and I was just like, man, I missed you guys. I miss chatting with my girlfriends. And we'll get in the latter half of this video about where I've been, what I've been doing, that sort of thing, why I was gone for so long. We'll address those things. But first and foremost, I have to share this handbag with you. So this handbag I ordered and it is so good. Okay, so a little backstory. Let me set this down because I talk with my hands and if I don't set that down, it's going to end up all over the place. So a little backstory, if you've been here with me for a little bit, I have done several handbag reviews on Rebecca Minkoff, Louis Vuitton. A lot of my handbags are darker in tone. And the main reason for that is practicality. I wanted stuff that could get used and abused and wouldn't show scuffs and dirt and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm kind of at the point now where I really want to have those lighter colors and I don't care if they get a little damage. I don't care if I get a scuff mark on it. I don't want to baby my handbags. I want to use them. And I mean, when you spend your hard-earned money on something, use it. So I've been on the hunt for something that can pair well with, you know, like a casual summer color like this or a dress or whatever. And so I decided to go with Tory Burch. And I have not purchased anything from Tory Burch. I will insert some pictures of how it came. It came wrapped very, very well. That way, if you guys are interested, you can see how it should arrive at your house. Whenever you spend a little bit more on a handbag, you get that little bit extra, right? So the first thing I want to mention is that I used, if you sign up for their emails, they'll send you a code for 15% off your first order. Now, I don't know when that ends because I signed up in January. And it did have an end date on that. But 15% when you're spending a few $100s is a good chunk of change. And so what I decided to go with was one of their newer releases. The reason I didn't go with a classic style is because that's what I'm attracted to, and that is the same type of handbag I have on repeat in my closet, and I love it. But I wanted something brunchy, something going to the grocery store, something that wasn't like a stuffy bag, but I didn't want like a square tote either. I know big bags are really in this year, but I'm not a big bag girl. I don't like to carry a lot of stuff. I want it to be simple necessities. That is it. If my bag is heavy, I get cranky. So without further ado, I picked up the small Fleming bucket bag. Now online it's really difficult to tell like how small is the small because the large to me just looks like a regular size handbag. It looks kind of like my Neo Noe from Louis Vuitton if you're familiar with that size. But this, you guys, is so cute. Here's what it looks like. You can see all the really beautiful quilting. This is very, very soft leather. I was very impressed with how smooth and soft and like buttery this leather is. And it's got the cute little drawstring so you can adjust it. I'm about to show you what all fits in here, but here's what it looks like empty. And the cute little handle. The strap on it is completely adjustable. So depending on how long or short you want it, if you want to do crossbody or not, then you can adjust that to fit your frame. I could easily fit maybe not a sunglass, well, I guess you could fit a sunglass case if you stood it upright in here. Yeah, you could. But that's about it. I don't like to carry a lot of stuff. And that is, I mean, that's honestly heavy enough for me. But you can wear a crossbody, you can wear it on your shoulder. So this isn't a review or anything, this is just like a reveal and showing you what fits inside. So looking at my phone here, the last video I had consistently been, like when I was consistently posting, was June 19th of 2021. And June of 2021, my husband had come back from a deployment to a third world country. He came back really sick. So that kind of changed the dynamic of our home drastically. Also that summer, we decided to list our house, the house that you always saw me filming in, for sale. Because at that time, the interest rates were plummeting and housing values were going up. We had been in that house about 4.5 years. And when we first moved to San Antonio, we thought we'd be there for about 4 years. Because I kind of forgot I was in the military. Like, I didn't forget, but, you know, we had been living like civilians because we didn't live on, that was the first time that we purchased a house. We hadn't been in base housing. And so those are really the first time in my adult life where I felt like an adult because I wasn't living in something I didn't choose. Like, we chose to purchase that house and we chose to renovate it. And I believe I shared that journey. I'll link that video, maybe put in a card if you're interested in that. I also posted a reel on Instagram recently of some of the renovations, so follow me there as well. So it was really the first time where we had been in one place for a long time, like a long time. And so June of 2021, he came home sick. I think we actually listed our house. It was in August, and it sold rather quickly, just with, you know, we were kind of in an area where houses are in very high demand. We sold our house, but we didn't close on it until we had already purchased another house. So for about a month, we owned 2 homes. And July, we decided to start looking for a house because we knew we were gonna list our house, but we kind of needed to be looking for a place to move into. And so I'm gonna keep this short. This is the abridged version. But we ended up finding and putting an offer on a house in our same neighborhood, just on a different county line. So in a different county, which meant my kids would change schools. But it was in the same neighborhood. August, we listed our house and got under contract, and we closed at the end of August on the new home that we bought, but we didn't close until the end of September on the house that we were moving out of. And so we owned two houses for a short stint of time. Would not recommend that. That's no fun, paying double and everything. And we moved ourselves. My husband was still working, you know, every single day. And so I was moving all of our stuff. I would just load it all up in my car, throw it in boxes. I left all my clothes on hangers, like a true local move, like a mile away, like not very far. And back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All that stuff was going on. So was YouTube in the back of my mind? Like, not really, honestly. I was just so, like, my whole scope of everything kind of shifted when he came back, not feeling well, really not feeling well. And then like this whole house stuff going on. We didn't know how much longer we'd be in San Antonio. And we just knew that it was a great time to take advantage of the market. So September, we close on our original house and we move into our new house. Our kids are starting into a new school, kind of trying to get that settled. But before we could even move into our new house, it needed to be painted. And I was originally just going to paint like a few of the main rooms. And then my husband, of all people, because, you know, I'm always the one coming up with the renovation ideas, right? He's like, well, why don't we just paint the whole house? And I was like, well, okay. We moved from a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house to a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house. Almost like, we went from 1,900 square feet to 2,600 square feet. We went from lower ceilings to taller ceilings, and I'm like, okay. I mean, the first time you bulldoze into doing something, you have no idea what you're signing yourself up for. And it's a really good thing. It's kind of like the first time you have a child. You have no idea you're about to encounter, but it's too late. It's happening, right? And so we take on the task of painting the entire house before we unpack everything, because I was adamant about it. I'm like, if I'm doing this, I am not unpacking and having to cover all of our stuff. Let's just do it before we unpack the boxes. So we were kind of living in limbo, like living on mattress on the floor in this house, but stuff in it was just kind of a very chaotic time for a good chunk of time. And so we painted the whole house. I did most of the walls. My husband did a lot of the ceiling because that's really hard to paint over your head. The stairwell was so dangerous. I hated that, but we got it done. And when it was all said and done, it looked phenomenal and saved us a ton of money by doing it ourselves. So that was just the beginning. Once we moved in and we painted everything, we started renovating. And we renovated the entire kitchen. We renovated the master bathroom, the upstairs bathroom, the half bathroom. We put down new flooring. Basically, we touched every square inch of that house. And it looked so good. I really, really liked that house. God works in mysterious ways, right? We finished renovations on January, I think it was 7th or 8th of 2022. And at this time, I haven't posted a video for you guys at all. I did post an Amazon favorites video in December. And at that point, we were still not quite done with all of our renovations, but my master bedroom was at least done. And it was, you know, we weren't sleeping on mattresses anymore. I wasn't tripping over, oh my gosh, everything from the living room, you know, everything was in my bedroom. It was just, it was chaos. We were living on cement floors for like 3 months. I was so glad to have it done. You know, it's one of those things where it is worth the effort to do it yourself, but it is a monumentous task. And we did it all simultaneously. I didn't add that factor in. We did it all at once. So like we were doing the bathroom at the same time as the kitchen, because it's like once everything's ripped up in a mess, you just want it done. So like, let's just, while that is drying over here, let's go take this off the wall over here. And then while that's curing, let's go back over here and hang this light fixture. And oh, while we're out at Lowe's, we might as well pick this up and I'm going to go paint the back. We did it all. And I love to do it. It's just, you know, it's a lot of work. It truly is. So January, we finish the house. I think it was like June or July. My husband had messaged me on Hangouts and he said, so I just got some orders. And I'm like, what? Like what? Because I'm all over the place, but if you backtrack to 2021, we actually had orders in 2021 to move, and we were supposed to move to Idaho and they got canceled. And so we were a little bummed about that because we were really ready to leave Texas, because by 2021 we had been there for 5 years and Texas is great, but it's not a place for me to live long term. It was fine, but it's not a place I would ever call home. And I was ready to go. I mean, I'm living the military lifestyle where I'm used to moving every 3 years. And so our orders got canceled, and that's kind of what prompted us, okay, we're bored. Like, if we're going to be here longer, we need to do something. We need to busy my hands. And so that's kind of what prompted us, in conjunction with the interest rates and all that, to sell the house. Okay. So then when he messaged me again, I'm a little bit like leery about orders, because yes, they can cancel those at any time. They can also shoot them out to you at any time. So my husband tells me we're getting orders. And he, of course, we play the whole guessing game, like, where are we going? And in his career field, there's really only a good handful of places to go. It's not like we can go anywhere in the US. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, well, it's this place or it's this place. And he's like, nope, nope. And so when he tells me it's Mississippi, I was like, shut up. Really? Because we've been here before. If you remember, in 2016, when we left Colorado, we moved here for 6 months. And then we moved from here to Texas. And so I've been here before, but not for too long, 6 months. We moved our whole house here for 6 months. Oh my goodness. I was a little bit like, okay, like I'm ready to leave Texas, but I was kind of hoping for someplace I hadn't yet been. However, I will say that I'm really enjoying where I live. I'm loving that it's less busy than, you know, San Antonio is like the 7th largest city in the US. I'm loving that it's a little bit, I say slower, but because it's not really slower. We're still right off the interstate here. It reminds me a little bit more of how I grew up, where, you know, people are just really like small town people. You know, everyone's really friendly. So we got orders to Mississippi. And we had to list our house in August again. Keep in mind, this isn't even a year later. We got orders here, listed our house, and then it was pins and needles, because selling a house in 2022 was not the same experience as 2021. And I've never been more stressed than I was this last move, mostly because we had never owned a house before to sell, and that just is a whole twisted up extra little fun ball of things that needs to unravel and, you know, get figured out in conjunction with the military stuff. And so 2022, oh my gosh, was the year I lost so much hair. I'm still trying to like get it back. Coming out in clumps. I actually had an entire month where I had a migraine 24/7 for 30 days straight. I think on the calendar it was like 32 days straight of a migraine. Went to the doctor trying to figure out nothing was working. And I just, hindsight now, I attribute it to, I think it was just a lot of stress at one time. So once again, I wanted to do YouTube. I wanted to share our journey and all that. But in the midst of that, the last thing I could think about was putting on a smile. And like, it was just an extra thing that I just didn't feel necessary to share. I knew someday I would probably come back and share with you guys. But I'm not a person when I'm really stressed that I want to put a camera in front of my face. Like, literally, no, the absolute opposite. I want nothing to do with sharing all this, right? I'm kind of skimming over a lot of details, and I'm sure I'll remember them at some point, but I'm sure this video is already super long. So we get here, we sell our house, we get here in October. We have no place to live because since we were last here, all the houses needed to be renovated because they had some issue with the ducting. They didn't build it right, and they all had black mold in them. And so we moved here with no place to live, and we had to stay in TLF, which is like temporary lodging facility, which is also really old, and it actually, the place we stayed in had an ant infestation. I am not exaggerating when I say our bathroom had literally hundreds, if not thousands, of ants crawling over all the walls, all of my stuff, the entire time we were there. And I am not exaggerating this, and it is so aggravating to me that it was gross. It was awful. We did it. We're fine. We survived. Ants are fine. But I'd rather have ants than spiders. Like, okay, any day. So that was fun. And we finally got into this house in December. Then you have all the fun with moving and your stuff showing up or not. Being all in one piece or not. That's always fun. Insert sarcasm here. So, long story short, or not, we have lived in 3 places since 2021, and I was burnt out. That's it. I couldn't come back to YouTube because I was burnt out. I wasn't really shopping for makeup because I was, you know, renovating my house. I wasn't putting on cute outfits every day because I was full of paint or tile dust or this, that, and the other thing. Or I was taking care of my husband or figuring out the kids' new school system and all that stuff. And so there's just a lot of changes. And with that came the inability for me to sit down here and really focus on you guys and focus on talking about fun stuff and sharing what I'm buying and what I'm doing. And so that's basically why I was not making YouTube videos. Now I am, and I'm so excited to share things like this with you, things that I'm buying, this cute little Amazon handbag that I'm buying. I'm just glad to be sitting here, chilling. I'm glad my house is in order. I'm glad that the chaos is done for now. The military has been quite the learning experience. If you want to do something that gets you out of your box, become a military spouse. Like, I would not be the person I am today had I not gone through countless hours, weeks, years of being alone or being just me and the kids, having to spend holidays, anniversaries, birthdays, just the 4 of us, or even just the 3 of us. Like, my husband and I would joke about every year on our anniversary, like, we've only actually been together, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 out of our 13 years of marriage together for our anniversary, because it always seems a deployment lands somewhere in there, or a TDY, or this and the other thing. And so now I'm rambling. But basically, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for supporting me on this fun little journey that I started here. I truly, and I say this, like, I may not have a lot to show from this YouTube channel as far as like making money. This is not a money-making endeavor for me. This is not a business for me. This is a hobby, but I have made friends. And I consider you guys friends. Like, a lot of you have been with me for a really long time, and others not as long, but you comment on every single video. I'd love to actually meet you because that's what makes it concrete and that's what makes it feel real. But I have made a friend through YouTube in every city that I've moved to. Now, I haven't made a friend here yet. That doesn't mean it won't happen because I firmly believe it will. But all of my friends that I chat with and I call and I text, like, I made those friends through this channel. And that has been life-changing. And so I'm grateful for this channel. I really am. And I feel kind of bad that I left for some time. But at the same time, I needed a mental break. And for me, sometimes social media, and I'm sure you can attest to this, it can be chasing your tail. You know, you can get really caught up in, oh, I need to have the newest this, I need to have the greatest this, or what I'm talking about is irrelevant because it's not the newest thing that just came out. I love that I'm able to, you know, buy new things like this, but it's not all about that. It's about the connection for me. It's about connecting with you guys. It's about inspiring you guys. I always hope that what I say matters. I hope that what I share matters. And, you know, it's fun to make lighthearted videos, but I also think it's really important to make things and say things that impact someone's life in a positive, encouraging way on a deeper level than just surface, than just a lipstick. But sometimes it is just a lipstick. But other times I feel it's important for me to be real, authentic, and genuine, because when I watch people that are like that, it impacts me. They make me want to be a better person. And being held accountable by you guys to put out videos, it does make me want to be a better person and to want to strive to put out better content. There's a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of things to consume that are honestly a waste of time. And so I want to make my channel a safe haven, a place where you can come, relax, unplug from the day, have some fun, get that girl time in. But I want you to walk away feeling refreshed, energized, you know, relaxed, laugh, oh, maybe get a good laugh in. That's what's important to me, those connections. And so thank you guys for all that you've given me and for sticking by my side through all of this. And I look forward to the next video. In fact, the next video is going to be a fun one. So we'll see you guys on Saturday morning. Chit Chatterday is back. I'm not going to label it that, but that's what it is. And I hope you have nothing short of a fabulous day. Bye, guys.